DHS Secretary Kristi Noem's false and incendiary statements about how Alex Preddy wanted to massacre Border Patrol agents and do maximum damage in Minneapolis. And of course, this is the justification for Border Patrol agents shooting and killing him. Well, that's become the source of much controversy in the Trump White House. And that's according to reporting in Axios. And it turns out that she is throwing two individuals under the bus because she wants to save her job. Now, for now, it really does seem as though Trump is going to keep her in place as DHS secretary. But I want to give you some more details about what's been transpiring behind the scenes because, quote, everything I've done at the direction of the president and Stephen, meaning Stephen Miller, one of Trump's top aides. And that's what Kristi Noem told a person who relayed her remarks to Axios. She has complained to others that she feels she's being hung out to dry over the episode and has made sure to emphasize she took direction from Miller and the president. Okay, let's pause for a second. Based on Axios' reporting, it might be true that she just took orders or just went along with Stephen Miller in particular, Stephen Miller and his narrative on Alex Preddy. But here's the thing. You are DHS secretary. You are in leadership. You are a cabinet member. The idea that you are going to point to others in the administration and say, it's not my fault. They told me to do it. Now, if Cenk, for instance, pulled me into his office and said, listen, Anna, I know we really care about telling the truth when we cover these stories, but here's the thing. I want you to go on the show today and lie about something we're gonna cover, right? Let's say lie about Bernie Sanders. It turns out he's an anarcho-capitalist actually, right? Which is obviously a brazen lie. Would I repeat that lie? No, I wouldn't repeat that lie. You wanna know why? Because as much as I love Cenk, I love my reputation and credibility a lot more, and I love my audience, and I'm not gonna lie to them. I might make mistakes in how I cover stories sometimes. And if I realize I've made a mistake, I'll correct that mistake. But the idea that I would just regurgitate something that anyone demands that I say on this show is laughable to me. And by the way, I'm not DHS secretary. I just do a talk show. Not to minimize it, but honestly, like her role has much more impact on people's day-to-day lives than mine does. So like, how about you take ownership of the fact that you are a cabinet member, you are the head of the Department of Homeland Security. So this whole thing about like, I'm just following orders. Come on, man, it's just so embarrassing. So what is the White House saying? White House officials are blaming Customs and Border Patrol for furnishing inaccurate information while others are targeting Stephen Miller, White House Deputy Chief of Staff and Trump top advisor, 6 sources with knowledge of the situation told Axios. Let me just, of course Border Patrol is gonna lie. Like, you should already expect that. The idea that you're gonna take a statement from Border Patrol or the Border Patrol's report on the incident as like gospel and just repeat it is insane. You shouldn't do that. But that is what they did allegedly. But notice how everyone's looking to pass the buck. Everyone's looking to blame someone else. Everyone's looking to throw someone else under the bus and avoid taking ownership of the mistakes that they made. So by the way, the officers directly involved in the shooting did get lawyered up right away, maybe because they pumped 10 bullets. I don't know if 10 bullets hit his body, to be fair, but they fired 10 bullets, including 6 bullets after Preddy was just laying there motionless. But the CBP officers on the ground furnished a report that White House officials told Axios left officials with the belief that Preddy had brandished a gun. I don't know, maybe wait and see if that was true before you actually put out a statement indicating that Preddy brandished a gun when he actually didn't do anything like that. Miller heard gun and knew what the narrative would be. Preddy came to massacre cops, a source briefed on the process of assembling the press statement said. And in a statement to Axios, Stephen Miller said that any early comments made were based on information sent to the White House through CBP. Okay, moron, you didn't maybe think it would be a good idea to wait and see? I mean, there were so many videos available online already. Maybe take a gander. Take a moment to look at a single video which shows you that he never brandished the gun, and don't regurgitate the lies from the CBP. But here's the thing. I am under no impression that Stephen Miller was misled into releasing a statement arguing that Alex Preddy was literally an assassin. That's what he claimed. So there are no good actors here. Miller was clearly the biggest issue, though, because his statement was like, all of the statements were gross, right? But he took it a step further. Not only did he call Preddy a domestic terrorist, which he wasn't, but he also said that he was an assassin. Okay. Now, after that happened, Vice President JD Vance reposted Stephen Miller's post on his page. And then Kristi Noem subsequently used that language at a news conference, as did Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino, who was at that time overseeing the operations in Minnesota. And now Miller is kind of changing his tune a little bit, claiming that Greg Bovino and crew did not follow the appropriate guidelines established for ICE and CBP in the aftermath of the Renee Good killing. Oh, fascinating. So the additional 1,000 agents sent to Minnesota were supposed to engage in crowd control, and Stephen Miller is concerned that that's not what they were doing. Right. Maybe you're the problem though, Stephen. Right? When you emphasize that you believe Border Patrol and ICE can act with absolute immunity, what that indicates to said federal agents is that they can do whatever they want, and the federal government has their back. There will be no consequences. But if anyone thinks that Trump might distance himself from Miller, well, Senator Lindsey Graham has a warning for you. Take a look.
As to Stephen Miller, to my colleagues who believe that you can convince Donald Trump that Stephen Miller is a liability for him, good luck with that. When this clock strikes 12 on the Trump era, there'll be a few people walking out the door with Donald Trump. Stephen Miller will be in that group. So I want everybody to know on the Republican side that Stephen Miller is not the problem. Sanctuary cities is the problem.
Don't forget, Noble Mobile saving you a ton of money. So a lot of people are signing up now and beginning to realize, what the hell, why am I paying so much to Verizon and AT&T? So your bill's only $50 a month, but it can actually be less because they give you money back if you don't use your data. So if you're paying more than $50, there's no reason to not switch. It's crazy not to switch because same phone, same number, same contacts, literally nothing changes. TYT.com/switch, TYT.com/switch. All right, we'll be right back.
No, you're all a problem. You're all a problem. Lindsey Graham, okay, chicken hawk, who drags us into wars that we shouldn't be involved in. You are a problem. Stephen Miller is a problem. Kristi Noem, problem. CBP under the leadership of the Trump administration, problem. ICE under the leadership of the Trump administration, problem. Problem upon problem upon problem. It's endless. Total incompetence. Let me ask anyone in the audience, I don't know how many exist, but if you're in the audience and you happen to vote for Trump, is your life better? Do you feel good? Do you feel good? Yeah, are prices lower? I mean, you look at the deportation numbers, or do you really think that this is all about deportations? Are you happy about the police state that we're living under? Are you happy about mass surveillance? Are you happy about endless foreign entanglements under this leadership? I'm just really curious because maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's something that happened in your life under the Trump administration that makes you think, oh my God, best president in the world. But I look at the Trump administration and all I see is endless dysfunction, endless dehumanizing comments about American citizens. And honestly, one bungle after another when it comes to something that Republicans want, which is effective immigration enforcement. Trump managed to close the border, but aside from that, complete chaos, complete chaos. Caroline Leavitt, by the way, mirrored some of what Senator Lindsey Graham said there. She says that Stephen Miller is one of President Trump's most trusted and longest serving aides. Well, that's part of the problem. The president loves Stephen. I'm sure he does. And it does seem that Stephen Miller has way more power in the Trump White House than is really usual for someone in his role. It's actually incredibly unusual. So, for instance, Miller's power extends to de facto oversight of Kristi Noem, who's the DHS secretary. I mean, she's a moron. Someone should oversee her, but not Stephen Miller, okay? She's a cabinet secretary who technically outranks him, but it seems like she's kind of, reporting to him in a weird way. And that might destroying the Republicans in upcoming elections. I'm not saying it, even though I think it's true. Let's go to Ileana Garcia. She's the co-founder of Latinas for Trump. Oops. Well, she blasted Trump's immigration crackdown, even though she was in favor of enforcing our immigration laws, which I think most Americans are. I think most Americans are in favor of enforcing our laws. We have laws for a reason. This goes beyond that. And here's what she has to say. I do think that Trump will lose the midterms because of Stephen Miller. She made similar comments on X, saying, allowing individuals like Stephen Miller, among others, who represent the government and make hardline decisions, to make such comments will have long-term consequences. This is not what I voted for. There you have it, an honest Trump voter, which I really appreciate. But the fact of the matter is, Trump managed to take almost widespread support for his alleged immigration policies and just take a big dump on top of that. No, I'm not actually interested in effectiveness. I just want chaos and I want retaliation against political opponents. So I'm gonna do a surge of literally thousands of federal agents, militarized federal agents in blue cities across the country. That's where we're at.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.